Sometimes you have a plan set in your mind and it just doesn't work out that way, and that's what today's video is about. For those of you who don't know, I spent months working on an iOS app called HCase, and I fully expected this app to take off, and it didn't. To be honest, I shouldn't even have built this app in the first place, but we're going to talk about why, what I would do differently next time, and we're going to talk about what I'm working on next. First, let's talk about what this app is and some of the features that it has. The point of this app was to be a tool that aspiring financial analysts or analytics consultants can use in order to practice their case interviews. So if you're preparing for a business strategy interview or an analytics consulting interview, or you want to be a financial analyst, you could use this app to prepare for upcoming case interviews. And so this app had a few features that I thought would have been useful to people in that demographic. You can go through interactive case studies, so you can actually be presented with a business problem, and then you can choose your different path and then be presented with different outcomes. And each case will have multiple steps that you can go through and just go through the case interview sort of like you would in an actual interview. You could also explore different case scenarios, so you could just read through different cases and see how those problems have been approached. And there's also, we call it a quant bootcamp section, where you can practice the math that you might encounter in one of these case interviews. The reason why I built this app is because I had gone through a lot of these interviews in the past, and at the time I didn't have a tool where I could practice going through these case interviews, and so I wanted to build something that would be useful for people who are going through these case interviews. And especially since we're living in a time of such economic uncertainty and uncertainty around the future of AI and how that's going to impact jobs, I wanted people to really have a tool that they could rely on that could help them stand out in these interviews. I was hoping this tool would become something that people can download to get more comfortable with these case interviews, and then they can actually use this to land their dream job and build towards their dream life. Now let's talk about the things that I feel as though went wrong during the creation of this app and during the execution of attempting to get downloads on this app. There are really four things that I'm going to highlight here. The first one was a general lack of marketing. I did not do a good job marketing this app, and I didn't get it to the appropriate channels, and that's one reason why it didn't do as well commercially as I would have hoped. The second is there's a lot that goes into marketing an app, and having a full-time job and working on the app on the side is really a strategy for burnout, and so that personal burnout was just something that I didn't anticipate happening that made it much harder to actually give this app the attention that it needed. Both of those things contributed to just low engagement and just not getting as many downloads on the app as I would have liked. And the fourth one is really what I think is the most important reason why this app did not do well commercially. And that's because it just wasn't aligned with sort of my vision and my interests in life. I think having alignment between what you're building and who you are and the things you really care the most about is vitally important. And that really is what gives you the energy to not get burnt out, and it's what gives you the energy to keep pushing when things are difficult. And although I think this app attempts to solve a very important problem, which is providing people experience with case interviews that they will need for their next job interview, this isn't something that I'm deeply passionate about, and I think that came through in the app, and that's why it didn't do well commercially. Fundamentally, deep down, I think the lesson here is to build something you're passionate about. Build something that aligns with your interests, your passions, your desires. And if you don't, even if you can force yourself to build that thing, you're going to struggle to market it, you'll struggle to maintain it, you're going to burn out, and it's just going to be a difficult and not pleasurable experience for you. So you really want to think about what are your values, what are your passions, and incorporate those into something you can build. If you're just building something just for the sake of building it, even once you build it, it will be difficult to market it, and it'll be difficult to get others to buy into your vision because it's not really your real vision. So what are the three things that I would do differently next time? The first one is, yes, you do have to validate your idea to make sure that what you're building makes sense, but you also have to validate your interest in the idea. If this was something that you were interested in the past, but you're not really that interested in or that passionate about now, then even if it's a good idea, you might not be the person to actually implement it or build it. The second is you have to say no to projects that don't align with your current passions to make space for the ones that do. So just because something seems like a good idea doesn't mean it's something you should invest your time, effort, and money into. You have to really examine yourself to see, is this something you want to devote a significant portion of your life to? The third is that it takes a lot of time, effort, and energy to build anything, especially if that thing is worth building. And so you really want to think about sustainability. And sustainability really comes from building things that's aligned with your purpose and with your passion. And if it's not, then you're going to burn out and it won't be a pleasurable experience for you. So what comes next? I think what comes next for me is building something that's definitely more aligned with my passions and interests. And I do have an app that I'm currently working on. I'm not prepared to share all the details of that, but I will be posting videos on that soon, and that app will be launching soon. I've been spending a lot of time thinking about the impact that artificial intelligence has been having on the job market, and that was sort of the impetus that led to me founding AceCase, was creating a tool for people to succeed in those interviews. But if artificial intelligence can do those jobs and there's fewer of those jobs, then maybe we need to take another route. I posted a video a few weeks ago about the relationship between the financial independence retire early movement and artificial intelligence potentially taking jobs going forward. And really, I've just been thinking a lot about the intersection of those two things. And so that's just a primer on what I'm building now. But I just want to share my thoughts with you on what I learned from AceCase and how that's going to change my approach going forward. That's it for today's video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you click the notification bell so you don't miss any uploads. And also just make sure you're subscribed so that you can see all the future content that I have coming, because I think you're really going to like the next project that I'm working on. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.